Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to talk about power, everybody's favorite subject. So I've set up a little bit of a test market here to show you how one miner, which is only going to be 5 megawatts is its capacity, but each of these is 30. Okay. Now this single one to this single bioburner is 30 to 5. Now these two boys are going to be 60 to 5. So if they're really pumping out as much as they are, so watch how slow this bar goes down. So I'll line that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds to get across that cursor. Okay. And that's 30 to that. But notice his production being produced by the grid is only 5, right? Now let's watch these two. Let's see how long that takes to get across the cursor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can tell it's obviously got a better draw. So it's going to, and this bar means it's eaten one of these solid biofuels. So the 4 a minute is only if you were drawing that much capacity or production, like 30 from this and 30 from that, if you had them maxed out. So if you actually have more, you'll be doing better in the long run. So that's great to know. And the reason why is because then you can go over here, and I just set up some containers. That way they didn't get plugged up for the test. So now what we can do is go over here and we will create a small, very small power station. That way we don't have to fill them. Now, pre 1.0, you had to manually fill those. But now we're a little bit spoiled with belts. By the way, I want to modify that the way I did this as well, because this guy spits out 60 per minute, but this guy spits out 300 a minute. Now he's going to be bottlenecked by his 60 a minute, but he'll actually fill up because him plus him coming out is going to be 120 a minute trying to go down a 60 belt. I could make 2 of these that are making biofuel if I wanted to, but instead what I'll do, sample. Instead what I'm going to do is actually make it to where, whoa, calm down. That was a lovely little flicker, wasn't it? There we go. Now there. Go there to there. Ah. He really didn't like that, did he? Sometimes that happens. There must be like an uneven slope on the ground or something. Wow. Okay. You want further back? Fine. Make you a little further back. I don't like doing that because I was going to replace that belt with better belts whenever I was down to it. Okay, and then we're going to do a merger. Now, I'm not worried about the merger in this case because it's going to not get stopped up. Because he's not going to get stopped up because he can't push out, right? So if that one, what these are going to do is they're going to buffer extra. See? He's going to buffer there. He'll have a little bit of buffer there. I'll come back and look at this later on, and he'll have like over 200 sitting in here. And it's preventing him from getting stopped up trying to fight this other constructor spitting out. Trust me. I know I didn't explain that very well. I apologize. Okay, so now what we're going to do is stop that. And you know what? Go ahead. I'm going to move this back a little bit. I have my reasons. You'll see. You'll see. Don't forget, when you copy and paste it like that, you're going to have to go back in and change what you're doing. And then don't forget, you also need power. Boom. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a small power grid over here. Now I'm going to show you how to properly do belts and how a lot of people mistakenly do belts when they first come out and do, especially power grids. It's extremely common to put the grids down. I want it up because I don't want to see the grass sticking through it. That just bothers me. So I just made one. I made one down there, and in this game you can delete and build up as whatever you want. You don't have to have structure, so you don't have to have something touch anchor in the ground. So I'm going to hit R and go into zoop mode, and we'll go out. Let's go 5 out. And we'll go 3 out. 5 again. 5 again. And see what it says, times 5. All I'm doing. So now we have it 6 wide because I'm standing on the 6th one. 6th row. See? Now we don't have stuff sticking through it. So it's not going to bother me every time I look at it. Okay, so we're going to copy one of those. And what we're going to do is, I'll go ahead and put it like this. So now what we're going to do is have him spit out and go into there, which is fine. All right. I say, since we built 6, let's make 6. Right? I won't put them all the way over. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's what everybody joined the stream for. They wanted to hear me count to 6. Yay. Okay. So what happens a lot of times is people will build something that looks, when they first start, they'll build something that looks a lot like this. Okay. They'll say, I'm going to go to there. There, and you're right. It makes so much sense to do it this way when you're not thinking about the dreaded math. But what ends up happening, besides craziness, well, besides he messes up, and I don't build like this. All right, that one faces that one, and then, yeah, there's your N. My apologies. I'm okay. So what's going to happen is you'll see this is a 60 line. This is where the dreaded math beats you down. I know. Whoop, hey, oh my gosh. Why I'm trying to get stuff done quickly for you. Okay. So if you look at the math, this 60 line gets split into a 30 and a 30. Now this is a 30 getting split into a 15 and a 15. This 15 is going to get split into a 7.5 and a 7.5, and this is going to be a 3.75 to a 3.75. By the time he gets down here, this guy probably will never get anything. I mean, Jesus, what is that? 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I think I was right on the... Yeah, 3.75. So 3.75 divided by 2, 1.875, and it's going to just get worse. 1.875 divided by 2. This guy down here is going to get less than 1 a minute. A minute. He is not going to get... He still hasn't gotten anything. And all... Oh, he got a whopping 1. So this is... Now, eventually, this will do better for you. And because he'll eventually fill up, okay? And he's not going to be able to take any more. So then it'll be able to push further down. But you can see that was 46, 22, 10. It's going to get less and less and less as we get down here. 5. And this will be 2 or 3. Yep. And then this will still be 2. So I know it's tempting to do this, and eventually it might work itself out. Although I seriously doubt he's going to be doing very well at all. But there's a much easier way to do this, okay? Get down on level ground and start deleting all this craziness. There. Okay, the better way to do it is to find a middleman. So the middle is here, okay? So we'll do a splitter. What I would say is get him close. Yellow is too close. To there. I'm only doing that so I have a line to work with. If you get too far away, so there's a line to the left that says I'm even, because I don't want to put them, just because that would bother me if I did something like that and they're not even straight across. Like that would bother me. So depends on how OCD you are. But if I turn around and try and go too far away, let's just show the folks. If I try and go too far away, see, there's not a line, and I have to like visually line that thing up. If I go further back this way, see, the line does appear, but once you get too far away, it won't show up. Now you could grab a third one that you're not going to place down. Just make sure both lines touch it. You can see both lines there. So there's that and that. Now let's find the middle ground. And what we'll do, and there's enough for a belt. I want to put it probably right here. Right about there. So let's see how pretty that looks. Straight. Oh my God, not pretty at all. Go back, go back. I made mistakes. All right, let's try that. It clips. Is that going to bother me? You bet it's going to bother me. I really hate doing them that close, but just so we're not clipping. And I don't have to do it in the middle, honestly. If I wanted to, I could actually, well, no, no, never mind. That would be ugly. And I might have been able to just do a curve like there's a default. Yeah, the straight's still gonna, wait, what if I do it from there to there? Nope, still gonna clip. Oh my gosh, it's gonna bother me so much. All right, everybody come here. I just can't. I just can't. Oh my gosh. Now you see what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a lunatic. I put that backwards, didn't I? Yes, I'm sorry. I cannot. I cannot handle that. Wow, that's bananas. What? Huh, and that one's off. That's wonderful. You know, some days. Where you at? You're right up against it, right? Why do you do that? Fine. Go backwards if you want to go backwards. Okay. And then straight. We'll do that. Okay. Now I know. I grabbed a whole bunch of bio stuff. There we go. Now, there's a whole bunch of it in there already. 1,825, right? Easiest way to grab a bunch of stuff. Shove a container where you don't care. Store all. Is that all? Yeah, I'm totally empty. Deconstruct. And then throw all that back in, and then I'll deconstruct this. And now I got my inventory back. I know. But it's easier than throwing it in, running all the way over there, running all the way back, running all. Now, if it had too much and I deconstructed it and we didn't have enough room in our inventory, there would have been a chest that showed up on the ground. So you will never destroy anything by accident by doing it in that method. Okay. So the 60 line turns into a 30 and a 30. And a 30 gets split evenly 3 ways. So this is a 10, a 10, and a 10. Make sure this one's hooked up. Yep. Getting some there. 38. 11. 12. Okay. So this is going to work itself out. He's going to keep on doing his thing. And like I said, I went off. That's why there's a nice gap in the forest right up there. And I just filled a ton of wood and leaves. I actually have some more leaves for you. And 1 wood that I don't want just sitting in my inventory. All right. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. And then I know I have some of that left in there. So that'll do its thing. Now, the one thing we haven't done is hook it up to the rest of our network. Okay. So even though these are getting, you'll notice they're not shredding any biomass. No connections because they're not connected to anything yet. Now, me being the psycho that I am, I like everything nice and pretty. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you can connect there, you can connect there, you can connect there. I know, riveting stuff. So now that should be 6 times 3, 180 megawatts. So here's our capacity of 180 megawatts. We don't have anything on this line yet. Right now, they're not doing anything really. They're just sitting at 0 production because they're not doing, look, they're not using anything at all, right? I mean, you see this animation, but the animation isn't really doing anything other than animating. Okay. So what we're going to do is connect our new power plant to this. And now I'm going to go over here and delete those. Now, why would I do that? This is a pain enough that I have to run over here and babysit these 2 guys and these 2 guys only. I might actually let those run dry and just not care because I want this to do everything for me with the exception of this one. This one, he handles these 3 constructors for creating power here, and that is it. Okay. So he is not part of this grid whatsoever. I don't want to go out looking for stuff, adventuring, whatever, and this all dies because of this guy. Well, because my whole my whole place is going to make it drain. If you look at him, see how slow he drains, right? Now I could build an offshoot split and have him going as well. Nothing would be bad about that. But as slow as he's... Oh, I didn't even need to do that. As slow as he's actually draining resources, I really don't see it being a big deal. I mean, like I said, I'll do it just to show, hey, it doesn't really matter. It's gonna be ugly. But he'll just basically, because there's plenty in there for now. I mean, Jeebus, look at that. All that jazz. There's plenty in there for now. But what he's doing, I don't know why I perch on top of stuff like a bird. I apologize. I just dawned on me that that's probably really weird. But as this stuff comes into here, what's eventually going to happen is it's going to fill up and just back up that line. And then this line's going to keep going. And every once in a while, it's going to spit one down this way. So it's not the end of the world. If I wanted to accelerate this process, I could simply do this. And now a whole bunch is going to come down that line and really fill it up because it was only spitting out a few at a time. See, it's really going to there to there to there to there real fast. And now it's just going straight to there and it doesn't care about the rest. So you could do that. There's nothing wrong with that. And that doesn't affect what he's connected to. He's still just connected to those for power. And that's it. But these guys, on the other hand, they will eventually fill up. If you wanted to, you could turn around and start filling them. Now watch, his line is going to get stopped up. Boop. And slowly this will complete. And then instead of it being 10, 10, 10, it'll be 15, 15, nothing. Occasionally it'll spit one out. And then eventually these two will back up, or one will back up. Then the other one will back up. And then all this will back up. And then we'll have a cascading effect over there to where all that will back up as well. I'll show you what that looks like real fast. Not that it matters. I'm sure you get the point. There. There. So you'll see that this one's going to back up almost invisibly because it's so fast, where these are longer belts. So we'll end up with stuff bound up on the belts a lot faster. But that's how you can make a power plant. Like I said, this doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt anything. It's a good indication that you don't have too many of these compared to the amount of power that these are producing, because these guys are producing these pellets, if you will. And if we're draining more pellets than he's supplying, that's going to be a problem. Then we need another whole set. But I really don't see that being a problem for anybody. Hey, buddy. It really shouldn't be a concern. See, now these are going to fill up. Now they're getting all 60. And occasionally there will be a gap because this belt let loose. Let one go. Very occasionally, as you can see. Once that one moves, then this one will get a gap. If it'll ever move. You get the point. Play with it. Enjoy the prettiness of it. But all it's going to be is a representation that we are perfectly balanced. I'm going to throw all this back in there. And grab one for the chainsaw. Because, chainsaw. Why wouldn't I want one for the chainsaw? Okay, what else did I want to do? Okay, we're going to do... let's see, we're at 24 minutes. We'll do some basic math up here, and then we will explore a new enemy, encounter a new enemy. They're fast little goobers. Okay, this is going to get a wee bit complicated. Only because of my OCD. You know what? I know. Ooh, sad panda. Okay. All right. what we're going to do, let's carpet it. All right. Now, when you're placing down your foundations, all right, you can scroll wheel and move this any direction you want. Okay. Now, there is a universal grid for the whole world. They finally put that in. If you hold down control, it's going to snap to that universal grid. It might not be perfect on what you're looking for, but you could do it. Oh, see, this is the chest. So we deconstructed something, we didn't have enough room in our inventory. It's probably because all this. So it just threw the stuff in here. So I can toss the raw orcs. I don't care. You can hold shift and do that as well. And then remove all. You can just destroy whatever's left in there. So you don't have to. Just showing you that you can. All right. Okay, let's build this sucker again. And we're going to get a little complicated, but nothing too scary. Let's line it up with our lovely grid. Now we can be specific. All right, we're dealing with 60 a minute. So we'll start him up. Get rid of you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build a couple constructors off to the side. And a container. Why? Because I want to be able to look over here and add it or do that. You could put them on your hotbar as well. So we're going to be making wire and we're going to be making cable. That's what you can make out of a copper mine or a copper node. The other thing that we're going to need is a smelter, of course. So the smelter for copper goes 30 to 30. So since we have 60, we're going to have 2, right? There we go. We're room to work. Now you can think vertically as well. Do we have time for that? You know what? I'm going to say we do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go under foundations, 1, walls, 2. Well, you know what? I'm going to say we don't. What I'll do is I'll do another video where I rip this down and show what it looks like vertically. I want to make it look pretty the first time I do it because I want to do it 7 times. So we'll do it sloppy this first time. Okay, so we have 60 coming out and we need it to be 30s. So how do we do that? We're going to need splitter. So first things first, we can sit there and simply split it. Get the arrow to the business end, of course. And he's on that center line, isn't he? Almost. He's close to being centered. It's real close. Look at that minor movement. Okay. So now we're going to put him. Mr. Bean. Buddy. I mean, you're awesome and all, but I don't know what you're doing. Besides getting in the way. Don't come this way. Oh my goodness. Kids. All right. So what we'll do is we'll put this guy up a little bit and I'll match him with that center line again, or at least try. There we go. And then I go too far, further than I wanted. It doesn't matter. I'm just, buddy, I was going to put this there. You mind? Thank you, man. So remember the blue line to the left just says I'm even with the one next to me. In case I'm a psycho like I am. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now, we're going to need power. So what we're going to do is we're going to run electricity right here in Mr. Bean's face. Sorry, buddy. Don't worry, he can't trip. What I like to do is put these directly on top of the splitters. So, what did we say? So one of these I'll do cable, one of these I'll do wire. Which means both are going to do wire at first. So 15 gives me 30. So we're going to do copy him. I don't like putting them that close, but I will just because we're not thinking vertically. There, and last but not least there. The reason why I don't like them that close is you have to jump over those gears. You can't just run through them, so you get stuck. Okay, so now need a splitter for there, split it. So you don't want to be curvy? Yeah, I could throw it out the front, but that would again bother me. Okay. So he only has 4 connections. So if I just throw it to here, so that's 2, 3. And now I need to go more in the middle. And I'm going to go up here. Of course, it's got to be in the middle, doesn't it? And now these 2 can go to him. And then those can go there. And now he's got an extra connection. So do they. We can go straight ahead. Whoop, got to jump him. Okay. So with that happening, now, and that's 15, 30, and 30 are coming out. So one of these, let's make this one on the side. We'll go ahead and make that finished. Should have built all this further down, shouldn't I? So what we'll do is just make him done. So let me do a merger. Coming straight from the middle of these 2 fellers. And then right there. So now that's done, right? So now what did he need again? He needed 60 wire to make 30 cable. How much wire do these guys make? 30 apiece, and they've got 230 lines. Perfect. We're going to do the exact same thing we just did. We're going to make, see, now, you're going to bother me, aren't you? About there. So we're going to make another merger, doing the exact same thing. But instead of that, we're going to do our constructor. Make sure I copied the right one. Yep. Boom to boom. And then we will copy that straight ahead to you. And then what we can do is make another. Look at that. It's almost like I planned that out. I did not either. It's just a happy coincidence. I'd have built more if I needed to. So now this guy should be getting those cables, and this guy will be getting wire. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. So let's go over it one more time. 60 raw out of here, split twice. That's 30 and 30, right? Whoa, almost deleted that. Go ahead and delete all my extra stuff while I'm looking at stuff. All right, so 30 and 30. And 30 and 30 get turned into copper ingots, which needs 15 and 15 to make 30 wire and 30 wire. 30 wire here and 30 wire there, going straight into there. Now, you'll look over here and say, man, that's a lot of wire that's just binding up. It'll eventually fix itself. Or what I can do is come up here and simply pull, and then it should resolve itself. Because what they do is they actually kick out 2 at a time. Or you're just going to sit there like that, aren't you? If it bothers you seeing all of it, you can just sit down here and mash E a whole bunch of times until that happens. Now, you jump back up on my perch. Now it'll slowly be nice and even. Not going to bother anybody. All right? So it won't back up. Now this one, it's the same thing. They're going to slowly back up, but it's not really affecting your 60 a minute. You'll notice this gets to 2, 3, then really that's 4, and it goes 4 and it goes. It just drops down. It takes those 2 at the 4 stage and uses them instantly. So it's perfectly balanced. If this number was going up constantly, it wouldn't be perfectly balanced. All right. Here's our cable. See how we're doing on cable? We're doing pretty stinking good. But we needed cable for stuff over there. That's fine. This stuff I really don't care about. I know. It's painful to watch me destroy stuff. It really doesn't matter. Now I've got only a little bit of wire, so let me go ahead and grab, throw that in, and then take a, you know what, I'll take 2. There. All right. So there you go. Nice and even. Now what happens whenever you get full at the ends? All this backs up. We'll go over that another day. We have a little bit of time. Probably, I don't know, 60 a minute, 500 thing, probably 10 hours before we get to that part. I'm going to go to options. So there's a thing in here called arachnophobia mode. So there are enemies down here. Did I cancel that or did I accept it? I always mash. Oh, I canceled it. Apply. Confirm. So there are some new enemies that we're going to go meet. Okay. You'll notice these blue mushrooms down here. And right next to it, a very creepy cave. First thing we're going to do on these big mushrooms, notice how they highlight around themselves. You can chainsaw these big boys down. And Ada has something to tell you about it.
The fruit of this fungus-like flora does not seem to show much potential for use. However, its mycelial network is worth further investigation. Store this potential resource for later use.
Okay, so as you're going through areas like this, you'll see these root systems. Sometimes you can actually harvest them for wood. It's a good source of wood as well. I don't know if I can go out of that one. All right, so let's go down here and we're going to meet new friends. Everybody likes new friends. So there's one right there. So if you like spiders, you're going to love this. These guys just run up to you and they hit and then they'll run typically, but they only take 2 hits to die. Now, if you do not like spiders, can't blame you. We can go into options, gameplay, and do arachnophobia mode. Now, I view this kind of as cheating because it makes them very, very obvious whenever they show up. Of course, we get something from killing them just like the hogs.
Alien species acquired. Initial data suggests these are predators, but notably they do not have a traditional mouth or eyes. There are, however, numerous cavities on their head which could fulfill a similar function. Preserve the remains for later study.
So this is one of the developers' cats when they added him to the game to torment you. But it makes it real obvious. I don't use arachnophobia mode. I mean, it makes it real freaking obvious whenever meow, meow, meow. Get away from me, meow, meow. Oh, man. Oh, man. I feel bad now. So it makes it real obvious whenever they're around. The meow, meow, meows. And besides, they can't really hide behind a rock very well, can they? I mean, although that one hit around the rock to the right, that's for sure. So let's see if I can take off arachnophobia mode fast enough. Or this one attacks. Okay. So this one, let's see if I can get him good. Hey man, free hits. Yeah. So they're not too bad. Alright, there was nothing over there except more shrooms. There's this lovely thing called a summer sloop. But we also have miniature mushrooms. Only give you one a pop, but trust me, you'll want to keep it. Creepy in here, huh? Alright. Of course, Ada's going to want to say something.
The Summer Sloop was named after Marie Somerville, co-founder of Fixit and head of its R&D department. There are many theories about the origin of this shape and why this symbol mathematically resembling a Mobius strip has found its way into both human and extraterrestrial culture. Thankfully, you don't need to know any of these theories to be a pioneer. Store it for later use. Fun fact: the planet you are on was found and named during a planet spotting event Marie hosted called Marie's Awesome Scientific Search of the Avant-Garde Exoplanets.
Nice. All right. Excuse me. Let's go up here. Oh, friends. Oh man, I got it. Oh, get out of that small area. Come on, buddy. Do this right. Come on, buddy. That's right. I think I've already grabbed some berries, haven't I? Yeah. All right. I always jump because I'm trying to get a better view. Here's some more iron. Impure. Impure. Oh, there's some more. Looks like iron over there. Oh, another one of these. That grumble, grumble, growl really makes me nervous. All right. I got impure, impure, impure. Is that it? Yep. Okay. So 3 impures. Oh, wait, no. That's another impure up there. Well, I assume it's impure. Seems to be a theme. Like I said, this zone is not my favorite. Man, you grumbled. It scared me. Okay. So 4 impure nodes that you could build off of on this side of the world. Oh, look. More concrete. Limestone. Oh, so this would be a nice little place to start. I mean, if there's copper. Is there copper anywhere? Copper. There's copper over there somewhere. Maybe it's up top. I don't want to run all the way over there just to see if there is, in fact, copper. We almost are ready to unlock things in the map, and then we're going to get the map. And that will unlock... oh, hello. Anybody around here? No? Okay. It must be on the other side of that rock formation down there lower. Okay, so... normally these guys have a guardian around them, which maybe that's what he was doing, but I figured he'd be guarding that stuff. Power slug. I got room, so let's grab him. Sure, Ada has something to say.
This semi-slug species seems to persist entirely through absorbing and storing energy from its surroundings. Studying this could provide new methods for improving fix-it production line efficiency. Store this potential resource for later use.
And between next episode and this episode, I'll probably go back into that cave and clear out the mushrooms with the chainsaw. I'm sure it's not something that... oh, there you are. I'm going to say, I heard somebody. He was too far away. I'm sure the vroom, vroom, vroom of the chainsaw is not something people want to tune in and listen to. Not exactly soothing. All right. Got you, buddy. All right, you saw me. Missed the third one. Did you fall down? Ah, you sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. There. He like glitched up the side. I thought he fell down and was going to be like running into the wall. Whoa. Running into the wall like that. Please pay no mind. Oh, hey, look at that. See, he was up here, so most likely he was guarding something. By the way, I know where my base is at all times because the hub at the top of the screen. So here's the hub, and at the top of the screen you can see on that compass where the hub is. It'll go away. You just got to spin until you see it again. So I knew that's how I ended up down there, and this was naturally the way to go to get back home. Now I've got to parkour a little down this. And once again, there is fall damage. That wouldn't have killed me falling that far. I'm just, overly cautious. So there we go. So now I'm going to put my ill-gotten gains in here. Hog parts, those. And we have a little bit of wood. Remember to hold down control, so if it didn't get organized already, it'll grab all of the things, all the stacks. And there we go. All right, folks. Well, that seems like a good place to stop for now. I would have unlocked some more. Oh, look, another slug. You can also see the light coming down from above him. They're absorbing energy from around them. So if you ever see those wisps going somewhere, it's probably because there's a slug nearby. That is an easy way to find them. Plus the sound. Listen. Gets real bad when you get near him. And it's got a bit of a range. Like I can still hear it here. Just barely. Okay. So that'll bring a clue as well. Don't worry, Ada doesn't talk every time you pick one of those up. Thank goodness. Ada, you're all right, but man. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to do. You're full, aren't you? Look, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a lot of screws. So what I can do is twofold with this point. So I can either throw out some stuff. I can make screws with these rods. I could totally dismantle all of this, leaving that, and then just expand that way. I could also branch off of this and use some rods and some screws into an assembler. And I'm about to do parts assembly. That's what I was actually looking at doing. Or I can figure out the math and do the math back that way to where it uses the screws and some of the rods, not all, because we still want to be able to fill this up, which we already have, but this is not a permanent supply. We're going to use those as we build things. I mean, rods are used for a lot of things. I believe they're used in poles. See, use a whopping one. They're used in smelters. I know they're used in equipment workshops. They're used in a lot of different things. All right, I'll keep going. I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank you for watching. If you stuck around this long, like it, please, and subscribe. Talk to y'all later.